For our Canadian lifters, pure passion, real results, what you put in your body should matter. Pure Vita Labs PVL supplements are clean, tested, and approved, powering athletes for over 25 years. They also power the KOTL podcast. You could trust PVL. Use code KOTL15 for partnership pricing at PVL.com. Okay, we got Brendan Pitre, and we were just talking about Bob. His episode hasn't dropped yet, but yours is going to probably drop first. Well, yours is going to drop first. I say probably, like I'm not going to dropping it.
Like you're not the leader of it all.
I got a team of 20 people I got to talk to around a fucking table and decide. But we're just talking about Bob, how he said at the end of 2022, obviously he finished with the highest dots, and he had that post, and Taylor goes in the comments, but only because I let you. And he's like, son of a bitch. And he's like, oh. So then he's I gotta try. It lights a fire. And so he's like, I gotta try to take those dots. Like I'm relatively close. So he got going into the Arnold. He could have clashed with Keenan in Ashton, which he knows he's going to do later on at Megan or USAPL Nats anyways. He knows that's going to happen anyways. So he could do it twice. The first time at Arnold directly with Ashton, but he got sick in January. His body weight dropped. And then his numbers were still okay, though, at the lower body weight. And then he starts thinking, fuck, hang on a second. And he gets out his calculator and he's like, at this body weight, if I keep my numbers, and he's like, I think I might silence Taylor Atwood after all. There might be a new king over after all. So he's crunching numbers. He's like, holy shit, this could happen. So he kept his body weight lower than he probably could have. You
know what's funny? You know what's funny about that though is when he got sick. So I immediately, when someone's not posting as much, when they always post, I reach out because I'm like, all right, what's going on? What's happening? And so I reached out to Bob because I noticed he was like gone for like 2 weeks. And I was like, hey, yo, like, you good? And he was like, yeah, I just got sick. So, not feeling best. Numbers are down, whatever. I was like, okay. So then another 2 weeks go by. Still haven't heard anything. So I'm like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, what is
like,
it?
No. he's like, no. I'm finally back. Like, you'll see. I'm finally back. So then he posts the 2100 double. And he was like, yeah, this was at like low 220s. And I told him, I was like, man, you could probably have the heaviest 10-time body weight total. Like, just thinking about it, I was like, you could do like 2150 at 215, or 216 or whatever. And he was like, yo, you're right. And he was like, oh, that has me thinking a little bit. And so what you're saying is that, like, I think after that convo, I think he started like calculating and doing the numbers. And then he must have been like, oh, I can beat Taylor.
Yeah, then we're here. Yeah. It's tough because if Ashton and Keenan weren't waiting for him, he could have more time to figure out a cut. Like when you don't cut a lot, like I was cutting, and my first few times cutting, you're gonna fuck some things up. Like your body's so different than everyone else, right? The way it reacts to water loading, cutting, the whole nine. So if he had time, if those guys weren't waiting for him, the pressure wasn't that big show, he could probably keep tinkering with the cut. Like it's not a bad idea just to see, but the fact that those guys are there and everyone wants to see the head to head, he's like, I don't got time. That was the only time. That was it.
Yeah. It wouldn't make sense for him to stay at 100 kg. There isn't competition for him there. Mm-hmm. So him going head to head with Ashton and Keenan and everyone, that would be the best bet for him. But yeah, it's not only cutting, but cutting at different weights. So that is like super tricky because you may be able to be good at like cutting from one weight to another one. But then if you start messing with like where you start your cut from and then where the actual end line is, like as you even seen with Bryce, like
I was just about to say Bryce. Yeah.
Yeah. So even from him cutting from, how he used to cut to the 105s is a lot different than how he had to cut for 90 and is a lot different from what he had to cut to 93. So it's just like knowing your body at those different weights is very, very important. It just takes time.
It's tough. Because in the 90 or so, the 105s, he's had monster totals, obviously. Cut to 90, And it might have been ambitious. It probably looked nice, probably looked amazing, but it might have
Yeah.
been a little ambitious. Still decent for sure, but you know, and then to 93 at PA Nats, he looked like he was going to hit that total that he needed. And then just started cramping up on the platform. Like you could see him, he would stop, he would get off bench and be grabbing his tricep. I'm like, holy shit, his arm locks up and he's like, oh, something's wrong. And then he would like deadlift. He was going to hit it. Like he was squatting everything. He was going to get it. And by the time deads, his legs locked, his triceps were locking up on deadlift. His leg was locking up. And I saw him in the back. I'm like, what happened? He's like, it just was crazy locking up. And he's like, I got to just keep practicing my cut. Like it's tough, man. It sucks to have like a really good training leading into something. And the cut on the last week can change everything for you. Everything.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I could kind of understand that a little bit.
Right. Well, I guess, right. We could, yeah. So we'll pull it back and let's get into that. So essentially, leading into this, how did you feel? You must have felt amazing. We seen the Jesse Norris post.
I felt the strongest that I have ever been, training wise. Like just ever since I attempted the 2K total in training, my body weight stayed down, and that day showed me a lot of my weaknesses and flaws. So I studied it like a playbook, because actually literally right after that day, my neck had seized up. So I was actually not able to eat or drink anything or really sleep for like 3 days straight after that.
Damn.
Yeah. And so during that time of basically taking a week off of training, I just studied. Like I looked at videos of like everything that I had been doing, what's going wrong. I analyzed my deadlift. I really was analyzing my squat and my bench, and just saw little things that I could change coming back. And I made those adjustments, and everything just started clicking. Like week after week after week, I started getting really strong. And then I even did a comparison from all my past meets, weights that I used to take as my last lifts for my RP 6 to 7s, and then compared them to what I took this time. And I mean, just the numbers I was doing a week out were crazy, moving at the 6 to 7 range. And I was like, yeah, this peak is going to be amazing. I was like, body weight is like 203 at the high end. It's like maybe it dips like 203.5, but like low end is 202. And that's prior to doing any type of manipulation or cut. And I was like, that's the easiest cut that I could make. Because even when I was a 93, I would cut from like 210, or 210 to 11. And then when I was a 90 the first time around for nationals, I cut from like 207, 206, 207 going to that one. And that was the first time I was ever 90. I hadn't weighed 198 before then since first getting into powerlifting. Years. So yeah, going into it, I was strong. I was confident. I was still weighing in light. I didn't do a water cut like I usually do. I just did a gut cut, and that took off most of the weight for me. Still weighed in at 196. Even with that, just something around meet day, I just I don't know if it's just like the anxiety or the adrenaline or whatever. I always can shed just a couple extra pounds no matter what cut I do. So I try to weigh in a little bit heavier, and that didn't really work out. So weigh in, I was thinking, and this is where I messed up, that, I'm not doing my usual water cut, so therefore I don't need the same amount of sodium, magnesium, potassium that I usually take in prior to lifting, right? As I feel like I could eat. I was eating into weigh-in, so I got food in. I was like, okay, so let me not go too hard, because if you take in too many electrolytes, you can have that adverse effect of super cramping, of like overly cramping if you take in too much and not have enough water to compensate with it, right? So I was trying to be careful about not just end up being locked up like Bryce was locked up. So I was trying to be careful about that. Turns out I didn't have enough to even start feeling like myself again. And I didn't really understand that or even feel that sensation until my opener. So we get right into it with 660 and like why I squatted high. There's a reason why, if you go back to the live stream, I never really like looked at the lights and was like, oh, I could have swore I hit it. You know, like I saw the lights and I was like, yep, that was
Oh,
high.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, yep, that was high for sure. And
You're
so I
like,
go to the
I'd
back.
take it if you gave it to me, but yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I just looked. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is high, but let me see. And I was like, red. I was like, yep, that's what I thought.
Okay.
So so I walk away, and then Marcel's leaving me. He's like, what's going on? It's like that was fast, but what happened? I was like, I can't feel my legs. I was like, so it doesn't matter. Like as soon as I got closer to the hole, my body instinctively like just went up because I got to a point to where I couldn't feel my legs anymore, and that scared me. So I just shot straight up. And in my head, this is what I was thinking in that moment, in that time and place. This is the Arnold. This is the one for the money. I'm not in any head-to-head battle, really. Like, ultimately, this is pretty much like my squad is a make or break it when it comes to me competing against Bob and Ashton for dots. I need a 700 plus squat to compete with these guys, right? So I was like, even if I take 684 or redo my opener, if I don't feel my legs, it's still it's not gonna happen. Like it's not gonna be worth
That's
it. So
scary as shit, though. You're gonna do 320. You can't feel your legs. Like you, holy shit.
oh yeah, no. So this is my thought process. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take in a little bit more sodium. I'm gonna take in a little bit more carbs, and if I can go to depth on the second one with 700, I was like, if I get it, cool, but I don't need to get it. I need my body to register what it feels like to squat down with 700. Because if I went a lighter load and the same thing happens, I fail it, then I'm just stuck with that lighter load regardless. So I would rather attempt 700, let my body register how that feels, what that feels like, let it get comfortable and not scared, and then try and go for it on the third and recover. So that's why on the second one, went down to the hole, came up a little bit, failed it, and I was like, all right, cool. Went away. If you look at my face, I wasn't panicked. I really like at that point, I wasn't too panicked. I was just more focused. I was like, okay, I felt that. And I felt a little bit of life come back to my leg when I was trying to squat it. I was like, okay, bet. So I actually got a little bit happy. And so drank a little bit more, got a little bit more water in me, got really focused. And I went for that third one, and I went to what I thought was my usual depth and grinded that because I felt my legs. I just needed a little bit. That's all I needed. I just needed a little bit of feeling in my leg, and I knew that I could grind 700 because I've hit it so many times in training. I've hit more than that so many times before. I've hit 716 twice in training. I've hit 700 for a double. It's like 700 shouldn't be something that I can't at least grind, even if I only have a little bit of feeling in my legs. So I think I hit my usual depth. I grind it, I rack it. But the thing that people have to, because a lot of people sent me the squat and they're just like, dude, like I think you got robbed or blah, 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 blah. Or that, everyone says their thing. And I never really said that. And I don't really like that mindset because my thing is, I know what it's like as a ref. Like, just I have a lot of friends that are refs, and I'm going to become a ref this year. And I understand whenever you have someone who's squatting high and you see it, and then they come and they fail a squat, unless that third squat is like super undeniable depth, it's really hard to get those whites in that moment. Like if it's borderline, it's like, all right, he got the squat and he just failed it. So more than likely, he probably squatted this high too. And that's when you get the red. So was I surprised? Not really. I should have executed on the first one, and then more than likely that would have led to like more successful squats. But going back to the whole cutting thing, it's like this is my second time cutting to 90. So just that cut in general, really learning what works with your body, what your body, feeds off of, the recomp strategy that allows you to be your strongest on the day of, that just comes with time. And that's all you got to chunk it up to. And that's what I chunked it up to. I was like, all right, well, I didn't feel my legs. I still felt strong. Weight didn't feel heavy on my back. So peaking wise, I think that this is still a good strategy. Just recomp wise, now we know that I need my entire Pedialyte in a little bit. I need to make sure that I'm getting more carbs in, and I need to make sure I drink at least 3/4 of a gallon prior to me squatting. So that way I can, feel fresh again. So I have, 12 a little bit under 12 weeks to kind of like put that to the test. Here at it's still a local meet. Like we have this thing called Carolina Prime Time. It's the first meet that I would say I was able to put myself on the map a little bit. But I like this meet because they have national level refs. I have to still travel like a little bit. Like I have to fly to North Carolina. So it gives me that feel as if I'm flying to nationals or something like that. National quality refereeing. So therefore I know the squats that I have are certified. But ultimately it's still a local meet. So I'm just using this as data, trying to make sure I get the total that I know I can have fairly easy. So aiming for 900 kg to 907.5. Hopefully can get that done with, going 8 for 9 or 7 for 9, being able to skip out on like my last squat or skip out on my last deadlift. So that way I don't drain myself too much before going into nationals. And yeah, and then just, get it done. That's really the plan. Just collect more data. So therefore come nationals time is solidified.
It is exactly that. It is exactly collecting data, man. It's better now than like for the national title or whatever that. Yeah. Who knows who's going to show up when it comes to nationals? Like, and the more you do it, always the better. Like, and there's nothing quite like an actual competition. You could weight cut and go to the gym, not quite the same. Do it in a hotel room, do it under like where you actually have to weigh in, you actually have to take some lifts and like it's a whole, and you actually have to hit depth with refs there. You're doing the right thing for collecting these data points. And then by the time like a major showdown could happen and you're like, fuck me, I can't miss now. I can't. You have it all squared away. And
that's one of the things that a lot of people will say is like, well, why did, when they ask me like, why didn't you go 680? Like, I'm like, listen, if I had head-to-head competition, like this was nationals or something like that, trust me, we're making the smart call, stacking the total, taking what's there on the day, and just allowing myself to be competitive. I didn't have any head-to-head competition. I didn't. It's a dots meet, like you go for what you think is going to put forth your best quality dots, and ultimately this meet doesn't matter. It's exhibition. It's for fun, and. Sure, extra money would be great. Like I would have loved 12K, who's going to turn down, 12K. But at the end of the day, when it comes to who am I as a lifter and the standard of lifting and just, where do I compare to people that I can actually compare myself with? I didn't have that. So there really wasn't a reason for me to try and play it, quote unquote, safe. But yeah, national setting, that's when you want to do that.
And so like 100%, if you're telling yourself for that 12K, I need to get 700 or up. If it's head to head, it's not about the money. It's about winning. Let me get my kilos on the table. But if it's just for the check and you're like, the more you drop down the rankings, that check becomes like, what are we here for? Like I got to go all in. I'm going for the big prize. It makes more sense. What you didn't know at that point was fucking, we got somebody watching who isn't head to head, but he's jumped into your weight class. He's jumped back down. And this is what you wouldn't have anticipated. So then the next day, or maybe it was that night, I'll let you tell it. When all that comes out, Russ, people from that camp, and then are you like, fuck me? At that point, what was your impression? And then were you like, maybe I should have did 680 just to fucking
no. So like I listened to, of course, that I listened to the podcast, and you already know that I've talked to Russ since then and all this week, and talked to most of the people from that camp actually. When I bombed, I immediately went to the hallway, and I was like, I took a selfie and I said LOL, and I immediately made the clown post because for me, I already knew it was coming. Like I
no shit. Really?
Oh no, I knew. Oh, I knew it was coming. I was ready. I was like, damn, I just gave him all the ammo in the world. I'm curious.
Okay, I see. This is I think I was a little blind to.
So since.
Okay, tell me about it.
Shocked. I'm shocked you were blind to it because ever since the Korea King of the List podcast, it was on. I mean, I didn't know there was beef until then. And after he released that, and and we already spoke about how like I'm fine with him having the beef, but he did kind of like misconstrue my words on like the biggest podcast, you know, in powerlifting. And I was like,
he chose his platform.
Huh?
He chose his platform, and
Yeah, I was like, he chose the biggest powerlifting, podcast platform, global and international, communication right there. And I was like, the only thing I didn't like is that I didn't say what you said I said. Now, you being like the beef started, and he already, he said that it started whenever I just formatted in that way, and whenever you do rankings, place a chip on your shoulder, which I 100% get. Like I'm here for it. I love that lit a fire into him, and it made his training a whole lot better because I was wanting that. Like I love that. Like I love the moment that we had that we're still having. It's not in the past. We're still gonna keep talking shit. But I was just confused when I heard the podcast because I was like, all right, me and him don't talk that much, and he's saying what I said, and I was like, ooh, if I actually did say that, I would be mad.
You're like that. You're like, now that was spicy. If I
I was like, I didn't go that hard. I was like, no wonder, because there was like being here in Houston, just being around people from that camp, there was definitely tension that I wasn't sure if it was like sports competitive or did we cross that line to where like now it's like real life beef, like
like they don't like you as a person now. You mean
right? Like it was very weird around here for a while, like until this week it was very weird. So I was still going to play around with it though because I like tension. I like beef. I like talking shit because it just makes us on our toes. Like you can't slip up. You have to execute. You have to bring it to training. Like anytime that you're trying to skip out on something, or anytime that you're like, oh, like I'm in pain or da. It's like, no, you can't. Like you have this guy who's right here. He's bringing it to the gym every single day. He's trying to take what you have, and he's talking his shit before he even gets a chance to like face you. I have to make sure that I get so strong that I have to make it to a point where I get so strong. I want to make him, when he comes up to my weight class, it not even be an actual competition that he thinks it is, and I have to bring it every single time to the gym. And yeah, but when he dropped that, it was on. So I was doing like my sneak subliminals. He was doing his subliminals. We were going back and forth.
This is what I missed. So I knew, like, obviously, like on that podcast he had said that, but then it was because so much is happening all the time, right? So yeah. I knew he's like, obviously, like I was there, right, for the podcast, but I didn't realize, like, with the subliminals, sometimes with so much other things going on in life period, when you read a caption, you might not always tell yourself like, this is probably that guy or whatever, but you two would know. But to everyone else, maybe some people, but when you got a lot of other things going on, like I think here and there, I might have thought maybe that is, maybe it isn't, but I don't think I was thinking it was quite that until the Arnold and it bombed, and then it became like, oh shit, okay, well this is a whole lot more than I would have it must have been continuing on, and then he came on, he's like, oh yeah, he explained to me. It wasn't as overt. It wasn't as tagging you and shit like that. It wasn't like that. But we both, he said, but we both knew. And I was like, okay, well, gotcha. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. We all know now.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows now, but it was definitely a very much me and him knew. And that's why we were bringing the fire to the gym every single time. And if you were around, you knew, but for the general public, a lot of people are just like, why are these guys posting this way? They're like, oh, okay, all right, I guess. Like, I like that song too.
Yeah, I know, dude. Literally, I thought that though, and I feel lame as shit right now. But you know how many people like who aren't around like your guys' camps? Like, that's a fucking fire quote. Like that song's amazing, but we have no idea. And you probably have like the different song. Like, these guys have good song choices, and I want their playlist. But beyond that, no one knows. Like, how many people in Europe would be like, what the fuck happened? But
oh no, I think the biggest thing was when it did happen, and what I did feel bad about is just it sucks. Like it sucks that like a lot of things got tied in with each other, because one thing for me, him doing that after I bombed, now knowing that it was just sports and we didn't actually have real life issues, I'm fine with that. Like, as long as it's just like sport and there is an actual, like, when I see him, like, we might actually go hit, like, at each other or whatever. But him doing that, that's fine. I mean, that's Conor McGregor, regular like UFC fighting. So I mean, like, whenever you see someone fail, now I may not do it, but you can be the character that sees like your opponent fail, and then you like dog on them, joke on them, because it could. I mean, it could play in your favor, because maybe I'm someone who's mentally weak, and that does affect me. And so now I'm super sensitive when it comes to training, or maybe I'm, stressing at night or whatever. And all that does is make me a weaker opponent, and he gets to capitalize and he gets to grow. The only thing is I'm not that person. So him talking all that shit, I love it. And it lights a fuel under me. It doesn't make me want to change anything up. It makes me want to just make sure that I'm executing and dialing in things even, more. So that way, now that he kind of like opened that doorway of talking shit, when I do mine, it's just going to be in tenfold. And there's no boundary. And whenever I have my day, I get to have as much fun as I want. So I love it.
Yeah, well, that's true too. You like he said too. I said on the podcast. So, he said, well, I asked him. Brandon put he wants to beat Jesse Norris's total, and obviously it's ambitious, right? Like it's Jesse Norris, who's an icon. It's very like nobody's broken it in powerlifting. People break records all the time. This has stood since 2014, 2000. Like that's forever in powerlifting. That's forever. That's like the baseball home run record that stood forever, right? So it's a lot of pressure to put on yourself to be like, I'm going to be the guy to do that. And I was like, well, but I'm for anyone listening who hasn't heard the Russ podcast, which is probably everybody's listened to, but whatever. So, right? But
I think that's a pretty highly viewed podcast.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are doing well. I'm glad you guys are on. So he was like, I wouldn't have done that because of the pressure, because it puts a lot on you. But then I asked him later on, I'm like, but when you dog him for bombing, you're putting pressure on yourself, because now if you drop the bag, everybody's going to be like, who's laughing now? And he's like, oh, I'm done. He's like, oh, I'm a dead man if I bomb. He's like,
oh no. Oh yeah, he's done. Like he cannot, he can't. So he can't bomb and he can't lose. Like he cannot bomb out of a meet. If he bombs out of a meet, he's forever finished by everybody on social media. It's going to be a meme page field day. If people thought this was a field day for meme pages, it would be endless. And then even if now, just because of everything, even if people listen to this podcast, they'll probably still not care that things have been settled and stuff like that. And so they've developed these narratives and camps and stuff to where now if Russ just even loses, it's going to be a just social media field day. He put himself in that position. But even going back to, him saying that he wouldn't necessarily do that because of just the pressure, I don't know. Like the way that I see it is I don't mind sharing something that I'm ultimately confident in, because you have to be so confident that you're willing to stand on it, and be so confident that if you fall short, that you can land smack on your face into the concrete, but know you're strong enough to push yourself back up and then go for it again. And that's just where I'm at with it, because for me, I'm just like him. I'm petty. So I'm very petty. And I love all the comments. Like I love the hate. Like I love the negativity. I love it to where people doubt me, because it fuels me for when I do have it, because I know I'm gonna do it, just like everything else. Like I'm not a rookie. I've been around in powerlifting for a while, and I've climbed up the ladder to where people have doubted me before and doubted what I can do. But I've always shared my goals and my ambitions, and that's what led me to where I am today. And all I do is I go to my YouTube, now that I've been consistent with that. And when I posted the meet recap, I have comments of people being like, you'll never beat Russ, or like, oh, you're just like, I mean, you have people saying like, how dare you try to compare yourself to Jesse Norris? How are you going to go from a 0 dots to trying to break a all-time record or something like that? And I just screenshot and I just like, I just keep it, and I just have it in a file, because when I do it, I'm going to post all those. And then I'm just going to put LOL.
Yeah, that's right. It'd be like, and that fucking 14-year-old kid who was styling on me. It'd be like, I see you. I see you.
One of the funniest ones that I saw, like, just this is how much like his fan base like really does love him, and just they treasure everything that he's done in totality, like not just for the sport. But someone said, it's like, Russ's watch is like your entire life worth. And I was like, what?
What like, the fuck? What kind of a watch does he wear?
In my head, I was like, man, like, well, I'm glad that he has a nice watch, but what does that have to do with powerlifting?
You're like, yo, he must have a fucking nice watch.
Yeah. And I'm just like, man, I was like, Russ, you better watch out. They're pocket watching you, because like they know how much your watch is worth. They study your drip. I was like, no, I don't know. That's kind of weird, but it made me laugh. It made me laugh.
He does. So I got a couple points there. I want to jump in because I talked to you in the DMs about when you said the Jesse Norris pick, and this is why I like that, and I'll say that in one sec. But let me double on to the Russ comment with his big following. It is true that his following, like you said, is bigger than powerlifting. Like he is just like people into bodybuilding. People are just gym goers who are like love big, strong physiques and like strong dudes shifting crazy weight, but they don't necessarily are crazy into powerlifting. They might not even totally know who you are. They're not even powerlifting guy. They wouldn't watch a stream. They wouldn't even watch that. They would just catch Russ has a beef and jump in type shit. And they love that. And okay, cool. Like it's sports, we're getting into bigger. One thing Russ is doing is bringing us into big, like other markets, and bringing people who might be involved. And this is where someone like you, whenever like a big match happens, right? If it's like a sport where it's one-on-one, boxing, MMA, or whatever, they're not team sports. There will be like, you will get so much shine from all of these other people watching, where it's like, if I fucking do my damn thing, it's an opportunity. It's the way you got to look at it. It's like,
it's a gift.
It's a gift.
It's a gift.
Kind of pressure is a gift.
It's funny you say that, because I literally said, once the King of the Lift podcast dropped and he mentioned my name and he said it, first I was like, I didn't say that, so I was kind of mad. And then I was like, oh, he actually has real beef with me, and he wanted to share that publicly. I was like, wow. I was like, I'm about to get way more attention than I've ever gotten in my life. I was like, that's a gift. I was like, I have to really make sure that I take advantage of what he's doing for me, because I saw it as he's really kind of looking out, because he could have kept the beef with me, but he didn't have to mention my name. He didn't have to like say that there's actually a beef. Like, there's other lifters that have definitely said more stuff to where he doesn't ever really mention them, And the fact that he like says my name repeatedly, it's like, man, like I can't wait until we have a matchup, because that's going to be such a big moment and opportunity for me to really like just win, and then be able to like show a different audience of people that, there's other powerlifters out here, and your favorite lifter or your favorite powerlifter, he's not necessarily like the best in a weight class for once,
It is for sure. If you don't respect somebody and you just don't acknowledge them. If you got a massive platform, that's the benefit of a big platform, is giving them no shine at all. You give them heat. You give them heat by mentioning them. That's the heat they want. Let's go back and forth. That's heat. The whole community will talk about it. You could make everybody talk about it. You want to starve them? If you got the big platform, you don't mention them at all, and they'll starve. And then it becomes like, you'll get no heat. And it's like, oh shit. But if you actually like, you know what? I respect what this guy's doing. And I know I mentioned him and turn him into a rival. There's going to be heat on him. There's going to be heat on me too. And it'll be good for all of us. That's different. That is an opportunity. And you go like, let me lean in. let's build this up from here to now. Everybody's watching because every performance you have now is going to be compared to the biggest name in our sport. Like it's perfect. It's like, all right, everyone's gonna you're like my next meet, kind of smaller, kind of a local meet. Everyone's gonna be watching now, dude. Right? There's too much at risk. So yeah, it is. You have the total right attitude towards it in terms like this is an opportunity for sure. And I was telling Russ, I'm like, whoever comes in first, whoever comes in second, you guys are like the number one in your individual weight classes. And when Russ moves up, he's like a 5-time or whatever, many time national champ, 2-time world champ, whatever. When he moves up, like that's who you're facing. Whoever comes in second, it's like, oh, well, then you must suck. You come in second by like, you know, there's no losing in this. Everyone will be like, that these guys are amazing. Everyone knows that. It'll be like people in the camps who are super fans of both will be throwing jabs. But the actual greater powerlifting community who aren't the super fan 2%ers, the 2% comment, by the way, right? The other people just watch and enjoy. And it's the 2% that are hyper involved that will be making comments. The rest of people just watching and enjoying. The 98% of the powerlifting community they're going to watch, it doesn't matter who wins and loses. They're going to enjoy it. Those guys are fucking amazing. It happens every time. It happens every time.
No,
when I saw the battle of the 93s. So go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm anticipating the showdown. It's funny when I was talking to him on the phone. I was like, man, I was like, what are you doing for nationals? Like, please, like, let me know. I was like, tell me you're going up to like 90. And then he was like, nah, like I got to make sure I solidify the 6th time. And then he broke it down to me. And since we had the phone call, I was like, okay, I respect that. But before the phone call, before I really knew anything and knew how he was really feeling, I was like, man, if he doesn't go up to 90, that's weak. I was like, I don't know if I can respect him talking all that shit and not actually see me on the platform. But after the phone call, I definitely respect it. I understand when you have a goal and you have it set out, it's really hard to just deviate from that no matter what happens in life. And then after that, the buildup and the anticipation for next year is going to go crazy. And honestly, if he is like let's say that Russ goes up and he totals 2K and he loses, like that's an L as far as like him not being better than me, but he's still gonna go down as a GOAT because that's crazy.
Dude, it's he's got nothing to lose.
That's undeniable GOAT status right there. Like to go up a weight, like to even total 2K, like after everything else he's already achieved. But one of the biggest things that he said that I truly am striving for now, which allowed me to kind of, let's say next Arnold, even for the money, I'm probably still going to play it safe next year now because I really like what he said when it comes to the consistency aspect and the way that people grade you is like, you're only as good as your last meet. But if you always win, people don't even really look at the total too much when it comes to like just building up a resume. It's like, what have you won? What have you done? So that is something I'm looking forward to as far as my next meets is just continuously winning. And that it means even when I get to the chance of next year, my resume will be slowly stacked up to where I'm just winning. So that way, when we go head to head and I win that one, it's almost like I can be like, my man Russ had his run. That's great. And now here's my consistency. And here's me after winning that one. I'm going to go and try and like experiment with going somewhere else and be battle tested and try and really build up my resume. That's actually my whole goal and my whole mind shift now is building up the resume, stacking wins, and just seeing what I could do being battle tested in different areas. So, but got to take him down first.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big one now. I mean, you guys, this has to happen. So a couple things there. Then I want to double back on the Jesse Norris thing, but, but let's not stop this conversation, man. We're going good. So, first off, I know that he's got goals for 82.5 that he wants. He talked about it on the podcast as well. And I respect it too. I mean, whatever, everybody's got their individual goals. However, you could still have, if you bomb, he talks trash, you could still have said, then come up. And you could be like, the pressure is the door's open and he could be like, I got goals. And you could be like, then you shouldn't have said anything.
What's funny is I did another podcast like fresh off the Arnold, and this is before anything. This is even before, we're not gonna get into that, but this is before that video. So, but I was on there and I said you use that Michael Jordan video of like everyone wants to talk shit, when they're up, but no one talks shit when it's 0-0. I said, hey, I'm 0-2 and I'm saying come up. Like I need to see you. I don't care that you have it to where you beat my total by 2.5 kg. I don't care that I bombed out of this meet. When we go at each other head to head, I know I'm gonna win. Like I know that. So here I am. I'm not scared. I don't really care about any of the other fluff because I know my abilities. When I'm facing you head to head, I'm gonna win that matchup every time. So I was talking my shit on that on that other podcast
because that would be the ultimate retort, right? Would be like,
yeah,
well, then come up, not next year, this year. Like if it is that, if it's all, and that's where, I mean, you guys both, I don't have to tell you guys how to do the social media trash talking game. You guys know, but it won't be as subliminal. Even if it's subliminal now, I think the rest of the world's going to get him knowing. Now it's
everyone. There's no more shot I can throw to where not everyone's catching it. Like everyone knows, like if I'm taking a shot, they're like, yep, that's for Russ. Yep. See?
Yeah.
Even if it's not, I can actually even post like it's funny you mentioned that because I posted something today that it's not even about them at all, but I bet people probably think it's about them.
That's the shitty part.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we have each other's number. If I ever like say something to where he feels like, hey, this is kind of like left field, or hey, what does this mean? Like we can always message each other and kind of like get things straight as far as that. So that way it never gets to like a personal level. And then we get straighten it out. So we have that form of communication now, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah, like okay. Let's get into that one sec. Let me just get to the Jesse Norris part.
Yeah,
I'm never gonna do it now. No, I want to keep going into this. Dude, this is a good conversation. The Jesse Norris thing. I like that. And I remember telling you before and even after. The day before and even afterwards. Because here's why. It's easy talking afterwards. It is, I shouldn't like you earn it afterwards. I'm saying it's easy, but you earned it. So that's fine. If someone wants to stay quiet, hit their numbers, and then talk afterwards, I respect that. You earned it. But it's brave. It's courageous to go first before you've done it. Throw it out there to the world and be judged and get ready for your judgment. And it goes back to, that's what makes a legend like fucking Babe Ruth calling his shots, pointing his bat to the left outfield. And the whole crowd's like, what the fuck? And then he fucking settles up. And that's where he's going to put it out there. And it's awe-inspiring when you're in the crowd and you see somebody stand and you're not walking up to the home run base yet. And you point. And the rest of the crowd knows, holy fuck. And they're like, this son of crazy son. It's like, yeah. And then he walks up to the pitcher. Give me your bet. Give me your heat. And it's like, holy shit. I get chills right now when you hear those stories as a kid, about your grandpa telling you about that kind of shit. That, yes, it's scary because Babe Ruth led the league in home runs. He also led the league in strikeouts. It's scary, but you fucking respect that guy when he's going to do something like that. So when you go out there and you're like, you do your Babe Ruth, you call your shot. It's like fucking, all right. Okay. So when people want a game on you, all right, sure. Babe Ruth fell. He literally would swing so hard he hit the ground. But if he fucking connects, kid, listen, it's been 100 years and we're still talking about him. Right. Yeah. So it's,
what's funny, and this is what I said to like people around me, because, everyone's going to check up on me. Everyone's really trying to make sure where my headspace is at. Because a lot of people they're like, wow, that's the biggest stage. And like, you just drop the ball and you just do that in front of so many people. Like, you must be down. It's like, nah, like I have my moment, of course. Like I definitely had my moment to where, I cried, yelled, did all that stuff or whatever, whenever it did hit me. But I quickly got over it because my thing is, this is temporary. People quickly forget about your L's the more dubs you get. So the more meets that come, and like the more that I win, a lot of people, they'll be like, wait, you bombed out at the Arnold? That happened? And this could be just 2 years from now, not even a long time. People forget performances just like yesterday, and people think that people come out of nowhere every single time that they have a good meet. And it kind of breaks my heart, but I love the lifters who recognize it, but then they're able to just like manifest it and not let it tear them down and then come back strong. Like I've seen lifter after lifter just get washed away just because they have a couple of bad performances, and then they come out and have a breakout meet, and all of a sudden like, oh my god, I can't believe you did that. And it's like, Daniel Clements, he's one of those ones to where he had a bad nationals and everyone kind of like wrote him out, and then he came to the Virginia Pro and showed out, and everyone's like, oh, I can't believe you did this. And it's like, he just had a bad meet. Like they happen, like it doesn't take away from him as a lifter. Even like Mikey Davis, a lot of people, whenever he had the grip issues and stuff like that on his deadlift, and he couldn't total what people thought he was going to total or win what he thought he was going to win. Mikey's a dog, so he takes that and uses it as fuel, and people may write him off, but I guarantee you come Sheffield, I don't know, I have really high hopes for Mikey, and every single time he comes back, and I bet people, if he has the meet that he should have, I know people are going to be like, oh, I can't believe he did. Like, I can. Like, I've seen his lifts. Like, I've seen it. I've followed it. I'm a fan of the sport. I've, looked at this stuff. So for me, I already know that if I just stack up things past this, I get Jesse Norris's record, I do the thing and actually just execute. 2 years from now, no one's going to really remember that I had this fumble until you go back and until I mention it. And I'm like, hey, remember 2 years ago when this happened and it led to this win and this total and that total? Yeah, like sometimes you need some L's in your life in order to be great. It's hard to be great whenever you're only winning. You need some setbacks in order to step forward. I'll say that. I mean, look at Russ whenever he lost to Brett Gibbs. That that lit a fire into him that it led to domination for like the next years, right? Like it was a Russ that we hadn't seen before. And yeah, I kind of hope to give him that as well. But I don't.
You're like,
I don't.
In a way, I want to inspire the young man if I beat him.
Yeah, in a way, I want to give him another L that allows him to have that chip on his shoulder again. It's just that it may, you're just coming across the wrong one. That's all.
It's the wrong dog. So I want to talk about this is okay. This is a good story here. So right now, who holds the number one dots? Like who has the highest dots of all time?
Believe it's like just tested, right?
Tested. Taylor Atwood, right?
Taylor, yeah, it's Taylor.
The highest Wilks, the highest good lift points. He's everything. He's got the untested 75 kilo record, the tested 75, the tested 74. He's got every single formula. He's got multiple time world champion, multiple time national champion. Taylor Atwood's the kid. Right? Taylor Atwood is so dominant. When people talk, Bob Matthews, Rondell Hunt, they're like, I gotta fucking take down Taylor Atwood. And Taylor's like the king. Okay.
Yeah.
2015. Taylor Atwood bombed at the Arnold Classic.
Yeah.
A lot of people listening would have even, but a lot of people wouldn't have even known. So to your point, 100% success makes people forget, dog. Nobody knows this. Everyone's like, Taylor bombed when Natalie Richards bombed at Mega Nats. I'm like, I slid in her DM. Sometimes I do this like I slid in your DMs just to make sure. Because I've been around, I know it's tough. And I'm like, I told her the same thing. I'm like, Nat, nobody's gonna remember this. Taylor has to bring this up now. And he brings it up to like, it's so far in his past, he don't give a shit to talk about. And he's like, because look at everything he's done.
Yeah.
This is nothing. Nobody's going to remember this. This is just, it's a good story. That's all this is. Winning cures everything. Winning cures everything.
Winning cures everything. And a loss or a near loss lights the biggest fire. Because Taylor Atwood, he bombed out at the Arnold. Then he became a terror. But then at 2019, I'll never forget at 2019 Raw Nationals, when leading into deadlifts, Michael C was in the lead. right?
Yeah.
And it was the first time that Taylor got put in a position to where he was behind, and actually did come down to him being able to actually pull something on his deadlifts in order to win. Then, of course, Michael, he cramped up and wasn't able to deadlift. But I know Taylor as an athlete, just the athlete mindset of being like, holy shit, he could have beat me that day. And ever since then, that's when Taylor soared to another new set of heights. Like, that's when the 800 kilo total was broken. Then he said, nah, forget that. I'm going even higher. And that's when he almost, out totaled Russ at 2021 Ron Ass. And that's just like, people have to understand that whenever you come across someone who has that mentality of understanding that, near defeats or defeats are only going to fuel rage and fuel a better performance, that's a dangerous man. That's a dangerous man or woman. And that, hey, also other lifters, if you take an L or you take a defeat, that comes with it. Like, that's a part of the game. That's sports. You take L's, but it's how you handle it that makes you different than the rest. It makes it to where, are you just going to be an intermediate lifter for life, or are you going to like actually climb and succeed and stuff like that? And yeah, I think a lot more people, they put too much weight on, a setback. It's temporary. It's just do what you have to do, fix it, move on, and then come out and just take your wins. That's it.
It's literally like, when in life is it ever you don't take L's? Like, there's always like, it's never the case. It's never always sunny. It's always going to have a rainy day. You can't pack your tent. It's okay, like, to acknowledge it and be in it, and to acknowledge it and feel hurt at the time makes you human. If you don't, you're a psychopath. Right? To not feel feelings it's not cool to not feel feelings. It means there's something wrong with you, man. It means you probably don't give a fuck, first off. Like, you're probably just that's scarier. If you feel nothing about it, then it's like that you really don't care. Like, you don't
if you feel nothing, then you don't have any investment.
That's right.
You got to feel it, like, acknowledge it, accept that it sucks, or you're in pain, or you're mad, or whatever. But there's tomorrow.
Yeah.
You have to wake up and live that life the next day, and then the next day. And it's like, if you keep harping on that one day, it's hard to create that better tomorrow. It's you just have to do that. But yeah, if you just completely ignore it and you're like, this is nothing, or like, I don't really care, and then it's like, okay, then you should stop competing.
Well, that's exactly it. If you're in a sport and you found you no longer care, that's when you're going through the paces. You should probably start packing it in. That's actually right. Well, Russ actually said, when this, for a while here, here's the thing: when you win, if you win too many times and there's a bit of a spread, it's like he didn't have his Brett Gibbs. Jamar's now killing it, but for a while there, like, Brett was a guy at that point where he was like, holy shit, he has beat me. He can beat me again. Brett did 862.5 in the gym in a mock meet where he actually weighed in at an 83. So Brett's top end strength, and this is years ago. Like, this is like 862.5 years ago in a mock meet in the gym is like fucking, like, it's an 83 even now is crazy. And I think that's kind of what Russ wants to stay as an 82.5 forwards, to put something like that up. But anyways, so Russ was saying, when Brett was around, it gave him that fucking, like, holy shit fear, that anxiety, that like waking up early, and like by the time he went to bed, he was so fucking tired and beat up, and he felt good about it. He's like, okay, I worked hard. And then when he woke up in the morning, he's all beat up. He's like, let's go, because Brett Gibbs is on the other side of the world and he's coming. And when you win a lot and there's a spread, and it's almost given, well, Russ, you're going to win. And like, everyone keeps saying this, and year after year, because he does, then it kind of, he hadn't felt that in a little bit. And he said on the podcast, he's like, when this kicked up with Brendan, it became like, I feel this again. He felt like, holy smokes. And I put a pool on his podcast, on Spotify. I got video on Spotify and pool, I have pools and everything on the Spotify. And the Spotify was, who will win between Russ and Brendan? And you're winning the vote. And it's his podcast. So I was wondering if he would skew towards him because it's his podcast. That's going to fire Russ up. Like Russ is going to be like, this is the type of holy shit, it's Brett Gibbs again. It's Brett Gibbs all over again. Like this is it. You get that feeling. You're like, whoa, for a guy like Russ, who hasn't been an underdog in ever, if he's like, holy shit, I'm an underdog. It's exciting, right? Where you're like, wow. And I'm sure it's probably happening on your end where you're like, all right, I got like the biggest star, multiple time champ coming in. This is big. This is going to be different.
No, I feel it like to where I'll always have like this feeling to where I'm an underdog, no matter what anyone says, no matter what I total, but it's like I'm an underdog to what people just say. Like I know that I'm gonna win and I know that what I'm gonna do and what I'm capable of, and I really want to make it to where it's not close. But other people are like, man, just bombed out, or like, oh, well, you only won here, or you only ever done this, and like in the gym, like sure, but is your stuff to standard? And Russ has done this like so many times, and he's so consistent, like he can't help but win. And I'm like, all right. I was like, there's the first time and the second time and the third time for everything, but just keep with that attitude, and I'll always like have that in my head. I'll always, no matter how many years that we face each other, I know that there's more people rooting for him and thinking that he's gonna win, no matter what poll I see. Like no matter like
that's stats and all that
true. Stats and all that stuff. Like I can't like really look. I don't really give a lot of investment into it because I know, or at least I'll write the narrative for myself. Then that's what keeps me going. Is that everyone in this Houston area is rooting for that guy, and he's just on the other side of Houston. And I need to make it to where, as soon as he comes up to me, I need to make it to where year after year after year, they start looking at Russ kind of like how people view Sean, as root for him, and you think he's going to win. You have this huge following in camp, but just doesn't happen. So that's what I want.
That would be, so you're right in terms of polls might be like the more hardcores, but again, his platform is so huge, it won't matter. He'll have more people thinking he's going to win, period. So yeah, you could slice either way. I bet you both you guys could appreciate, like, here's the good thing about being an underdog. The other guy carries the pressure because he's expected to win. Whereas you're like, good, let him carry that pressure. And then I could just operate with far less, and I'm, let everybody pick against me. It's different. And for the first time for Russ, we talked about it briefly on the podcast, but it's not going to be for a little bit. So I didn't want to dive too much into it, but it would be for the first time he's the contender facing a champion. Again, I don't want to disrespect anyone in the 90 kilo. I know you didn't win this title yet again, but let's just say for the sake of this conversation, okay, I don't even know who you're going against, so I'm not disrespecting any of the other 90s. Like, hey, bro, I haven't even fucking signed up yet, and I already took an L. But let's just say,
to be fair, to not also be disrespectful, a lot of people have switched up who I've competed against last nationals. I mean, Jamar's going 82.5. A couple of other guys are gone up a weight class. So like, and then Bryce is going to PLA. To be honest, I don't know who I'm competing against either. So it'll be a surprise for both of us.
Right. So let's say hypothetically, anyways, let's say you are the champ for the sake of this discussion.
Right.
It'll be the first time since 2018, Russ is a contender trying to unseat the champ. 2018, and it'll be 2024. By the time this happens, it'll be a very unique. And for someone like Russ, we touched up on it a little bit in his podcast, but I think it would be kind of interesting. The dynamics are different. Like, normally he comes in, it's like, is Russ going to win again, defend again? He's got such a gap on these guys. By the time you guys clash, he's staying 82.5. Your totals are going to get bigger, obviously, because you're going 90.
Right.
He'll go against a guy whom you will have continued to expand your 90 kilo total. He's going back down. So there'll be a spread in total. Conceivably, I have no idea if he's going to go to 90 in the interim, but you know, you'll be the reigning champ. It's going to be different. It's going to be, that's what's exciting about it, is it's different all of a sudden for Russ. And it'll be very interesting, like how the community looks at it, how your guys' YouTube leading into it. And he's not just any old contender. But I'm already excited, but like, fuck, we're not even at this year's Nats, let alone the following. So I'm not trying to get too
it feels like that fight, like, you know, like when there's two fighters and for whatever reason they just can't get the contract right, or there's money involved, and like people have been wanting this fight for like a very long time, but just for whatever reason it's just not getting solidified, but then it actually does.
Oh, God,
and then it's like, better. Oh shit, it's official. And there's a date. Yeah, that's how I feel. It's like when there's after nationals and he makes that announcement that says, hey, I've retired from the 82.5, and now y'all see me at 90 kg. Like when that announcement is done and it's set in stone that that's his move, that's gonna be the best day. That's gonna be my favorite day.
Dude, you're gonna be like MGK popping a bottle of champagne and be like, come on up. Friggin' imagine he makes his announcement. I've retired from 82.5. I'm moving up to 83.
No. I would
Can you imagine?
I would call him. I would be like, no, take that shit down. You better make a real announcement.
That better be a troll job. That better be a troll job. We've been waiting way too long.
Yeah, I know. Because I'm not cutting down. So
yeah. You're like, I wish you luck, because there's no fucking way I'm going 83. Yeah. When he was doing South Africa, did you know he was going to end up going 90 and trying to take that 90, like on I don't know, like in terms of it's not really a record, it's not a national record. But did you
South Korea.
That? South Korea. Yeah.
I had an idea because I didn't know for sure if we had beef. I was just getting like, you know, like energy, like you kind of can feel that something's off. Because I would go to Corrupted and I went to the Corrupted Classic, have some athletes that competed in it, and I saw them, and it was feeling pretty weird from when I made that story post and I saw him at Corruption Classic, and then all the way into Korea. It was weird. It was a weird vibe. He wasn't his usual friendly self, it seemed like, when it came to me. So I was like, all right, well, maybe I'm just in my head, like, I don't know what I did. It's whatever, yeah. Right? And so I was thinking, I was like, whenever he was going 90 for the Korea meet, I was looking at his list and I was looking at his training, and I was like, yeah, he could beat my total for sure.
Really?
And yeah, no, because the thing that it really just came down to me was, could his deadlift transfer to the platform? Because I knew with squat and bench he would have enough, but my question mark would be, what could he really pull? Because I've studied him as a lifter, and usually his deadlift has a hard time transferring to the platform, whether it be just because he's too taxed from squats, or he has grip issues, or et cetera, et cetera. It's just been a rough thing. So I was like, well, if he can get his deadlift, he'll beat my total for sure. But if he doesn't get his deadlift, then there'll be a pretty big gap in between our totals. And sure enough, I saw it because I was definitely watching. So sure enough, whenever he got to his last pull and he actually was able to hold on to it and he got the 3 white lights, I was like, yep. I was like, it's on. I was like, that was dead. And the reason they celebrated. Like, you don't celebrate a total that doesn't really mean anything, quote unquote, at a local meet, right? Unless there's a little bit of a extra incentive by beating something by 2.5 kg. It was definitely felt like a pull for the win, because he definitely didn't pull for the win in that meet because Keenan won. So yeah, it was definitely, I definitely knew that's what he was gunning for.
And did you think after that happened, you think like, okay, we're going to clash soon, and he's good? Did you think he's going to throw shots? Were you like, I think something's coming? Because you could have thought he just wanted to be the number 190 kilo total, and it wasn't personal on you.
Oh, that was like the funniest moment. Like, honestly, within all of this, that was probably one of the funniest moments, because I saw it. I was like, okay, bet. And then so I started seeing his posts, And I'm looking and I'm like, okay. And I was like, always taking the shots. I was always probably like, talking about all his haters and doubters like he usually does or whatever, right? Then I started looking at the posts and I was looking at certain things and I was like, I called Jamar. I called Jamar up. I called him on the phone, Pancake God. And I was like, hey, I want to make sure I'm not tripping, but this seems like more individualized, individualized targets. And I was like, I don't want to read into it too much, but I'm looking at the post, and he just kept going. I kept going for a long time, and I was like, man. And then they just got more specific, and he started highlighting certain things, and I was like, this is about me. This is for sure about me. And I had to like call to confirm. And I was like, hey, what do you think? What are you looking at? And he was like, nah, man, it's looking pretty specific. Like, it doesn't really seem like he's like, it doesn't really seem like he's just talking generally to haters or anything like that. And then I was like, yeah, this is definitely towards me. And then so I was already thinking that. Then I go on vacation because I was just needing a break. So I go to North Carolina, I'm on vacation and stuff like that. And then the podcast drops. And then I'm like, oh, yep. It was definitely
well,
all
that's
about
undeniable.
me.
Yeah. I mean, he straight up said, yeah. You had mentioned that you and Russ found an understanding. And I had a couple different people on the podcast. Bob Matthews one hasn't dropped yet. Rondell's has. And he talks about what he thinks the boundaries for trash talk is. He said, as long as it's sports, it's all good.
Yep.
You don't go like someone's private life, someone's, personal relationships, whatever, just sports. That's it. It's all good. No, in terms of timing, I was like, what about someone just bombed, you go in? And he's like, sports, it doesn't matter. What's your thoughts on that? Is it same boundaries for you?
Thing. As long as it's sports, anything's at play. But you also have to be okay with the character that you are and what you develop, because that's the only thing that you're truly risking is like when you go after somebody like that. And of course, Russ knows what he's doing, right? So I think he's already played into that whole villain arc thing or whatever, right? So when you go after somebody and you talk your shit right after they take an L and you're like, finish him, right? People are gonna get the perception like, oh, like forget this guy or whatever, and like, oh, that's so bad, that's so awful, yada yada yada. And then you're gonna have others that are gonna love it. So you just build that character for yourself and you build that narrative. But for me personally, as an athlete, I'm cool with it. Like it's fun to me because you need those characters. And as long as it's genuine, because I felt like from Russ, that was genuinely how he felt, especially with how funny, but especially with how funny the things that he did were. I was like, no, this is really him just in his own mind, not necessarily trying to force anything. This is just truly how he feels in the moment. So I was super cool with it. I don't like it when people create a character for the sake of the sport and it's not them. Like, don't target someone just to target someone, and it's not even you, and it's not really how you act. Because I feel like if I fumbled in front of Russ in person, he would clown me in person, and vice versa. Like stuff that I want to, me and my personal character, I wouldn't really clown someone like that because that's just not me. But that's okay. We're just two different people. But I'm the one to talk my shit in front of someone's face, and I will talk my shit before I even take a lift, as you can see. And I'll do that, if I was training around Russ or something like that, like I would talk shit to him, to his face, and that's genuinely me, and that's how I get fired up. So as long as someone stays genuine to themselves and they stay within the sports realm, I'm cool with it. I just don't like, me personally, I just don't like posers. I don't like someone feeling they need to do something just so that way they can create this drama or controversy or beef. It has to be genuine. And that's what I like about me and Russ is that it was like, this is all genuine. This is how we feel. We're waking up in the morning feeling this way, go to bed at night feeling this way. When we see each other, we're cordial, but it's still that energy. Like, we're still like, we still don't follow each other on Instagram. That's how much real it kind of like is for us, to where, yeah, we have that respect, but I'm not about to go over your place. Like, you're not about to like come hang out with me or some shit like that. So yeah, as long as it's genuine, I think that is fair game. Just keep it within sports. Don't take any personal shots and just have respect. That's really it.
Because the problem, one of the, I talked to some other people in the DMs, and some people like it and some people don't like trash talk, right? And some people were saying kind of what you were saying there too, whereas they're worried because Russ is extremely popular. This has gotten crazy traction. And other people have done it genuinely as well, like freaking Taylor and Rondell. Taylor went at Rondell on the KOTL podcast, and that heat got so hot that Rondell almost ended up at fucking Sheffield. Like it got so hot in that kitchen.
I loved it.
Things can happen with a little trash talk, and God bless Taylor and Russell do it on the KOTL podcast. I owe them some drinks when I see them. But if you choose, it can happen for you. You can make things happen. You could really create chatter. Like people, when Russ when Taylor talked about John Hack, saying people say he's the greatest. People say he's the GOAT. He's not better than me. I used to think that, but now I don't anymore. I'm better than John Hack. And this was the same podcast he went at Rondell. Yeah. Fucking people in Europe are messaging me being like, holy shit, dude, it's blowing up all over the world. Like people like fucking, and it became a massive debate where John Hack had to come on the KOTL podcast, just like you're doing now, to address it because people like, you got to address this. And John Hack's like, all right, well, fucking, I guess we're addressing this. And because it just blows up. But it's genuine to your point. Taylor legitimately feels he's better than John Hack and has an argument towards it. If you want to do the powerlifting nerd debate, right? Whether or not you do think or not, he's in the conversation. With Rondell, he genuinely was frustrated, Rondell, and people are calling him out when he's like, you're not going to hit my dots. You're not even close. Talk to me when you get close. He literally felt that way though. And due to all the things he's done, it's up for debate whether he should or should not, but he's got the resume to. But to your point, there will be people who hear this and they're like, holy shit, did Russ and Taylor created so much heat, and you guys, you're going to create a lot of heat, and like they're creating so much heat, but they're not Pitre, they're not the champs, they're not whatever. And they'll be like, I think I know how I'm going to get some heat. And they're going to try to duplicate. And what people are worried about is disingenuous, tagging the fuck out of people in their stories. And these people like, I'm not replying back, bro. And being like talking shit in comments are like, dude, you're just harassing me, but we're not in contention with each other. We're not rivals. Give it up, man. This isn't you. This isn't us. This isn't any. This is awkward, bro. Like the worst is if you go at someone and if they don't reply, you look like you're beneath them. That's the big thing that you got to be very careful with. If they don't reply, sometimes it looks like they're the A side, you're the B side, and they're just big time in you. There's an opportunity for that if you go at someone. None of this has happened in any of these scenarios because you guys are all legitimately rivals. But there'll be some people who are like, for 6 months, we'll be tagging somebody or this other lifter. And it's like, bro, that lifter's not hitting you back, man. Yeah. Because he doesn't see you as a rival.
I'll say this, like, for address two things with what you said. Spectators, because I got a couple because I got a DM that I thought was kind of funny. Whenever I was answering a Q&A and then I tagged Russ and I was like, I don't know, but because someone said that I would beat him for sure. And I said, all I know is that I feel like he should move up in September and meet me in Memphis. And I just added him. And this is before our talk and stuff like that. And I was just angry. So, and then someone was like, why keep the beef going? And I laughed so hard because I was like, do you think this kind of thing just goes away? Do you, like, when it's genuine, when it's real and I really feel these things, like, do you think that I could just, you're right. I should just not have beef with Russ after all of this. Thank you. I didn't think of that. I didn't think that I should just be quiet. Like, no, like, this is real. Like, this is real life. And whether you disagree with, shit talking or not, you're going to watch it, hate it or love it. You're going to watch. All the people who say they don't like the shit talking and they think that this is bad, blah, 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 blah. You're watching though, and your eyes aren't turning away. Same thing when Andre Johnson went off on Cortland Finnegan or whatever his name is. Remember the big, I don't know if you watch like American football, but they have Andre Johnson, they're talking shit on the field, and then Andre Johnson starts like beating him like with his helmet, like started throwing actual jabs and punches like on the football field. And a lot of people are just like, oh, this is disgusting, or, oh, we're really rooting for him, whatever. Each side, though, most, like, as far as the NFL clip, one of the highest viewed clips that there is. And people still go back and watch it, whether they bring it up to hate on it or they bring it up to praise it. Whatever it is, it's still getting brought up and you're still looking at it. But you know what you don't look at? You don't look at it whenever someone just talking a bunch of noise and there's no weight to it, right? That's when people might even know about certain things. Like you were talking about lifters. I think I know what you're talking about because I'm a fan of the sport, but I guarantee you that there's a lifter that people don't know who spoke a lot of shit and tagging people and saying that I'm coming for you. And he was just never close, and he really should have never been in discussion of anything. And and no one watches. Like no one cares. Like we kind of like look at it like, oh, that didn't work out too well. Okay. And we just like move on. No one's anticipating his meet or anything like that. And that's what I don't want. That's what I don't want for the sport, is just random people talking when they don't have an actual weight to the conversations. Like wait until you actually have something, or you genuinely feel you have something, versus just trying to be like, oh, I can say this and start making fun of someone and like I just get them to react. That's gonna give me my clout. Like, no, right. I don't like that.
It turns into a cesspool. And like if you're at a venue and like you want some fucking kid getting in your face trying to with his buddies with videos, they're filming video and you're like, what the fuck, man? Like, just I don't know who you are. You're not like, it's not, this isn't it. Whatever you're thinking you're doing, this isn't it, man. Like, that's what I don't want. I don't want like, and you do see some stuff, right? And some people you could tell are trying for some things where it's like, if it's close, it's close. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But like, let's not get too crazy negative just for a heat. If it's genuine, if you have a genuine critique on someone, even if you're not close, I got you. Some of it's genuine. Some of, to your point, in terms of, you honestly are giving a critique. You could be like, look, I'm nowhere close to Russ. I'm not even in his weight class. But here's what I don't like when you did this or that. That's genuine. Right. That's fine. But I'm talking, yeah. That's sports fans will do that. Sports fans have all the right in the world to do that. But what we're kind of looking at is, or even other athletes or whatever, because they're sports fans as well. But what we're thinking is like, what I don't want is people who are like, exactly that. I'm going to try to fucking harass a bigger name guy for 6 months straight trying to get a reply or whatever. It's like, let's not do this. Like let's not get crazy here. That's not you. And hopefully that's one thing that I don't want to even try to promote, where people start thinking that kind of behavior is how you do it. When we have people on here being like, trash talk is how you hype it, I agree. But I hope people don't get misconstrued like, I'm going to fucking harass Brendan for 6 months, some 90 kilo who's 100 kilos off you and whatever, and his buddies are, and it's like, guys, you're not Russel Orhii though. You're not going to get Brendan's attention.
No, like you gotta, in order to, and the same thing for Russ, which is why, going back to the beginning of the conversation, which is why it was a gift in this respect. You have to earn shit talking, in my opinion. You have to earn a genuine beef with someone as far as battling for a spot, right? Now, if you're just giving a critique and you're saying that they outclass you and all that stuff, but hey, this is my critique of you, that's cool too. That's fine, right? That means that you will say that and you don't care if the person responds because you just want to get that off your chest.
Right.
And that's perfectly fine. But when you're trying to get a response from someone and you want to say these things as far as like coming for your title or coming for this and yada, 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 it's like, you got to earn that, man. Like you got to earn me to actually view that and be like, do I take this as a threat? Should I like call this person out and kind of like start talking shit? And then I'm like, nah, I'm okay. I'll wait until you kind of like, bring your shit up before I'm just like, yeah, let me mention this lifter, that you have to earn it. That's my thing. You have to earn shit talking. You have to earn talking about I'm going to win. You can't just like say these things. I mean, well, really you can do whatever you want, but in order to get like the respect part, I'm going to need to see what you have done that gives you that genuine feel that you're going to do it. And if you do genuinely feel, if you're way off and you genuinely feel like you're coming for the throne, then whenever you do make it happen, I'll give you your respect then. But until then, you're just going to be working in silence. And I hope that you enjoy that.
Exactly. In like, you're right. Someone can do whatever they want to do, but it doesn't, for anyone listening, thinking about doing some weird stuff like this, it doesn't look good to harass someone for 6 months straight and never get a reply. You got big timed. And it's in that case, no response is your response. And that's embarrassing when somebody's like, you're beneath me to address, and everyone knows this. And nobody's even knows that you're saying anything. I see it because you tagged me. If I reply, everybody will see it. I'm not going to give that to you, and I know you want me to. It's not going to work. And it's like it'd be embarrassing, you know. It's like, God damn, man, you're like, you know, just you're striking out, man. It's okay. Let this one go. It is what it is. I was going to ask you too. Did you know that the Marcellus video was going to come out before it came out?
So I knew the video was going to come out before it came out. And I knew some of what he was going to like lay out into detail and stuff like that. But whenever I did see it, I was like, man, yeah, that was well orchestrated. That was well in detail. And the only thing that me and him have both talked about that I didn't, the only part that I didn't like, because we're not going to go into the video in its totality, but right. The only part that I didn't like is when he said the kicking a person when they're down. I wish that was like separate, only because me as a person, genuinely, because I know how he hurts way more than I do about the whole situation, of course. But me, I wasn't down. Like I mean, like that's the only thing that I don't like, because I get it. And this sounds bad, and I'm sorry if like someone's offended by me saying this, but the only part that I was really mad at or frustrated throughout this entire week was every single time I got a message that said, "Keep your head up."
Damn, that was me, dude.
I know. I
take it back. I take it back now.
well, to be fair, you gave me more detail though. Like you actually like talked to me, and then I responded, and I understand, right? And like I get it, right? But that is like number one thing that got under my skin is every single time I just got a message, "Keep your head up, G," or "Keep your head up, man," or "Yeah, you're good, man." It's like, I know you're sick. And I'm just like, I've addressed this in so many ways that I'm good and I'm okay and I'm hungry and I'm talking shit. I'm just like, I don't want your sympathy while I'm talking shit, because it takes away from my shit talking. Because it's That's like, it does. It's like if people are trying to like, big me up and are trying to like are acting as if like I'm down or depressed, or if I'm saddened by the way that Russ has done something and they're trying to tell me to keep my head up. When I'm talking shit, it just sounds like it just takes away from that. It makes it seem as if like I'm not even confident in myself anymore, or like I'm not someone who can stand on taking the L or failing, that I need to actually be picked up because I was brought down so low, and I need that assistance. And that's just not the case. That's just not who I am. So where I genuinely understand why someone says keep your head up, or they want to have that reach out, because I know that I'm an outlier when it comes to that type of like mentality and mindset to be so quick with it. It's still just like every single time I get that random message and I look at the notification banner on my phone and it just says keep your head up, and I just want to throw my phone. I want to throw my phone, and I want to go back in the gym, and I just want to like destroy everything in the gym. And I want to be like, keep my head up, huh? It's just like, no, I'm up. I'm gonna show you. Like, I'm gonna show you in this session that this did not break me, that this did not do anything to me. And like, it makes me want to talk even more shit, because it makes me want to be like, I'm not down. I'm more up than I've ever been, and I'm more fired up than I've ever been. And I'm hungrier in training than I've ever been, because this all happened. And yeah, that's the only thing. It's just that gets under my skin a whole lot.
I guarantee you Russ messages you after hearing this podcast and says, keep your head up. Keep your head up, kid. And you're like, you son of a bitch. That was actually pretty well played. Actually pretty well played.
I hope he does, actually. I hope he does this message. Keep your head up. Like,
keep your head up, champ. Keep grinding. This kind of reminds me, there was a guy, I don't know if you watch UFC much, Chael Sonnen. He's got a podcast, and his nickname is the bad guy. And in every matchup, he was like the king of trash talk, and like the king of trash talk. He was so funny. He's like a comedian. His lines were so well done and delivered, and literally called the bad guy. And he's fighting a guy in Brazil called Vanderlei Silva. And Vanderlei Silva, his nickname is the Axe Murderer. And so he's a super aggressive, tough guy. Like, I mean, super aggressive though. And Chael Sonnen, they're doing a TV show leading into their match. And this is in the UFC. So it's the TV show is called The Ultimate Fighter. They go down, they're filming in Brazil. And Chael Sonnen knows I'm the villain. We're going to fight in Brazil. I'm going to be the bad guy. I'm literally nicknamed the bad guy, but he knows I have to play the heel to promote this. So he's like, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to shit talk Brazil. I'm going to shit talk. I'm going to be the loud, mouthy American. They're going to hate me and they're going to cheer for him to kick my ass. And that's why everyone's going to tune in and they're going to watch the show. And when they got down there, Silva was so aggressive though, that it made Sonnen a sympathetic figure. And Silva actually like picked a fight with Sonnen and was like, it looked like on screen filming like he was bullying him and picked a fight and forced it. And Sonnen didn't want to scrap. Like they're going to fight in a cage. So Sonnen didn't, it's not like he's afraid, but he's like, what are you doing, man? We don't like, we're doing a show and the guy's trying to fight him. And then afterwards, Sonnen had to, like 4 episodes deep, they did a poll and fucking everyone was rooting for Chael Sonnen to beat up Wanderlei Silva. And Sonnen actually pulled Silva aside and goes, hey, do you know how this works? He's like, we're going to fight. We're going to fight. He's like, you're making me a sympathetic figure. You're bullying me. I'm supposed to build you up as the baby face and I'm the heel. He's like, you're losing this campaign. You don't want me to be the good guy in your own home country. And I think to an extent, what happened with this, because when you bomb out and Russ has got a big following and he does that, it made you're the baby face, he's the heel. At least now, we're 2 years out.
No, I think that, and I was also talking about this among friends. I think that forever, no matter what I say or whatever shot I take, I'm still the hero. Like he's the villain, I'm the hero, all the way into the matchup. It's just there's pretty much nothing that can be done because all of this happened. There's pretty much nothing that can be done in the public eye that would ever put me as someone who's like just equally talking shit and we're both having that exchange. No. It's now forever. I'm the anti-Russ hero that gets to take down the Titan, that takes down the one who's been having the crown and the throne, but his throne has gone to his head, and he's a villain now.
Dude, you wrote this movie, huh? Are you writing this? You're writing this.
I see it all playing out. It's like all that power, and finally we found the unsung hero who's gonna save the powerlifting world from this monster, and it's just like. All right, I was like, I guess if that's the narrative that's wrote, I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do and let the narrative write itself. But I really think that because he did this, that's pretty much what this beef and battle has become. Versus like Arondell and Taylor, they're just equally talking shit, and I don't think that they have that hero villain dynamic at all. It's more just here are some two titans that are going after each other that just want to clash. But Russ has developed this hero versus villain plot, and I honestly think that that's probably why ours is going to be viewed so much, is because people love to see, like, it's like David versus Goliath. People love that type of dynamic of the bad guy versus the good guy, and just all of that. But yeah, my shit talking, the shots that I take is always going to be seen as justified, just because of everything.
It will, like, it can take turns, but you're right. Like, at least for now, for sure. We're still a long ways out. Who the frick knows? But you have a freaking crazy Kanye West moment. We're like, holy shit, Pitre, didn't see that coming. But we're like,
I don't, knowing myself, I just, again, it has to be genuine. So I don't see me doing anything too crazy to try and flip that narrative. Yeah. My shots are still going to be the shots that I like to take. And I would never. And again, I have nothing wrong with it, but let's say that Russ does like fumble something or whatever, or doesn't live up to expectation. Or let's say he goes to nationals and he does bomb out. I'm still not really gonna talk shit because that's just not like, that's not me. In that moment, I'm probably gonna be silent. But if he let's say if he doesn't perform or whatever, and I outperform more than people's expectations, then I'll talk some shit. But if he bombs out, I'm not gonna speak on that. I don't. That's just not my character. I'll say that. But if he just loses, I may talk some shit.
So here's two things with like heels and baby faces. Talking to like Chael Sonnen, who does this. He says he liked playing the heel. It was more fun. I'm wondering how you feel about it. If you're like, fuck, I think I'm already, and I'm using the term heel and baby face. That's from pro wrestling, by the way. People, okay, cool. I don't know if everyone knows that. They're like, but he said it's always more fun being the heel than the baby face. But I wonder how you feel about it, because Russ you're more free. If you're the heel, you're like, fuck it, I say whatever I want. Don't have to worry about losing character. Whereas the babyface, yeah, they could turn on you type deal. However, the babyface, he bombs, you don't take shots, but you don't have to, because everybody takes shots at him because he took shots at you. So you stay silent and everyone throws rocks for you. And that's the thing with the babyface, where it's like, people stick up for me. And the more the heel throws rocks at me, which he's supposed to do as the heel, other people throw rocks back. So it's kind of, it helps. It might for you guys help offset the massive following he has, which is like crazy. So that helps as well. I don't know though. It's a weird dynamic, but would you be like, fuck, I mean, look at Russ he was the baby face for a long time. So maybe you'll become the heel at some point too. But how do you feel about it? What's more fun?
I guess it would be the baby face, only because as the heel, you have to be very, like, you have to actually have that malicious side to you that you could tap into and display that and be genuine with it. Like he can, like he has that Michael Jordan like mentality to where he's gonna mess with his opponent and get in their head and do things, and like that's his genuine nature. Me, I know myself. I'm aggressive and I'm very confident and I'm confrontational and like all those things, right? But there's certain parts of my character that I don't really have like malicious intent towards my opponent's enemies. Like, for instance, I'm the type of guy that, like, for Carolina Primetime, there's a guy named Andre Easter, and I was going up against him going head to head, and it was like one of my first real head to heads where like I had to pull for the win and things like that. And he was struggling in the meet, or struggling just in the sense of he didn't really have like the food that he needed. He left his singlet. Like, there's just things that were going wrong that could have made his day worse as far as like his strength level. And I made sure that he wasn't. Like, I made sure that like he had all the food and made sure that like, we were searching to like find that he had a singlet. Because for me, I need to beat someone when they're at their very best. I don't take joy in like someone not living up to their own expectation on the day. I want to see you be happy about a lift that you got, and then I still beat you. Like you PR'd, and guess what? You still lost. I want that. I was like, you felt ready and you felt like you had your best strength on that day, and it still wasn't enough to beat me. That's what I need. So when I see someone like they go 1 for 3 on squats, or they are missing grip on a deadlift, if I win off of that, that's cool. But I can't really like go into my real talking shit bag if I didn't beat them at their best. It rubs me the wrong way. Now, I will say, if I go against Russ and he like misses like grip on his like last deadlift and he needed that to win, I may still talk shit in that moment, because like I don't really care at that time, just because of the dynamic that he's already built. And I genuinely know that, hey, he's been in this game, he's a veteran, like there's no excuses for him missing on grip. So I could go in on that. But for most of my competition, I just don't have that malicious intent when it comes to seeing them fail, knowing that they could have been better and they could have done more. I need to beat someone at their best. That's how I operate. So I don't think I could ever really be the heel, to be honest, like, because that's putting on a role or a hood that I don't think that I could keep up. But then again, I was just say, then again, years can go by and maybe like, things can change, and then all of a sudden, like, I actually start like having that malicious intent. But for right now, I don't have that part in me.
I legit, I also fucking think about other people's, like, how they would take it. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm the same way. I'm like, fuck, it's tough. It's tough for me. Like, everyone has moments, but then you back out, be like, I think that might be too far. You know what I mean? You're like, it's bad timing, I should wait. And then time goes by, like, I don't feel the same way, I'm not going to do it. And just whatever. It just is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But
no, Russ is a perfect heel, because just how funny he was and how petty he was right in the heat of the moment. I'm like, that was real. That's not made up. That is genuine. That's who he is, and that's what he feels. Like, he's perfect for that role. Because
if you're going to be a heel, you have to be petty funny. That's what Chael Sonnen did. Timing is everything. And it's got to be petty funny, but he also knew we're talking sports here. So like in his world, he's like, look, I'm not going at like, it's not like I just found out his fucking aunt died and I'm like, dude, kicking you when you're down. He's like talking about a sport, you know, and life's going to get a lot worse than fucking bombing at the Arnold. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
For sure. Yeah. So that's why he's like, he's comfortable with it. So, yeah, I mean, again, we're talking about heels and sports for everyone listening. Obviously, Russ is not going to Russ is the same dude who talked to Brent. I don't want to take heat off what you guys going, but Russell also talked to him to make sure, like, yo, we're all right, huh? You know what I mean? Like, we're good. Yeah. So he's not, you know, but anyways, do you want to play the name game, sir? Dude, we crushed like an hour, 40 minutes fucking fast.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, we are fucking moving here. How about the name game, sir? You down for a little name game action?
I'm good. I'm good for it.
Okay,
let's go.
So, again, I know you've heard the podcast. I mean, fuck, man, you heard the podcast when you were in the name game for Russ the one time.
I was in the name game. Yeah,
I know you know, but for anyone listening, if you guys haven't heard, so I'll say a name, and you could say one word, 2 words, a story, go on a rant, or literally just 1 or 2 words. And like I remember I had Dan Bell on. I said a name and he's like, no comment. And that sometimes is all the comment you need to do. And everyone's like,
Russ said nothing.
Oh, well, there you go. See, there it is. It's like there's
I have that sound bite forever. I have that locked into my brain. That man said, you said Brandon Pitre. He said nothing.
I know. See, exactly.
I'll take whatever I'll take the only thing that he has, and then therefore it's just I feel nothing. Oh yeah, no, I know that by heart.
So that's where like and that's another thing what a good heel can do. If you're a master of like, you know, you can pick your spots, be like, I don't need to go on a rant. 1 or 2 words is fucking boom. But anyways, I don't with that being said, sir, we'll get into the name game. Started off easy. Marcellus Williams.
He's the best coach out there. Just everything that he's done just for us. I mean, for Bob, Ash, just the lifters that he has under his roster. I can't thank him enough for being able to create a lot of dreams that I had into a reality. And he just, you know, he's a brother to me. He's my family. And yeah, he's just the best.
And that would explain why he would feel the need to do the video as well. Like, even though you're like, dog, you don't got to stick up for me. Don't make me a sympathetic victim. He's also like, yeah, but I fucking feel ways, man. So it helps. You just help paint the picture. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. Bob Matthews.
Strong as shit. Like, just freak of nature, strong. He is. I think he's going to leave a legacy on this sport that is going to be talked about for ages. I mean, he just has it. Like, whenever I think of Bob, I think of Kobe. Like, that's like, I think of Kobe when I think of Bob. He sacrifices everything for this sport and is dialed in, and he studies all of us. Like, every single powerlifter that's at the top, he studies all of us to a T. He watches film as a powerlifter. That's different. Like, he is dialed into every single aspect of when he wakes up, when he goes to sleep. Like, he is consistent, like, very much so. So that's what I think of. Like, he's gonna leave a legacy on this sport that no one's ever seen. And I think of Kobe when I think about.
To back up, because yours is going to drop first, but Bob talks about that, and I was like, really? He goes, oh, I watch, like, I mean, like, people not in his weight class, different federations, watches their videos and studies. And like a boxer like Mayweather studies opponents, or just not even opponents. So he's studying other people. Like, well, that's interesting what he did with that deadlift setup. And he's like studying like that. He's counts all of his food, tracks his sleep, like, he's so in right now.
I've never in my life thought about watching film as a powerlifter. Like, I've watched other lifters and I've seen, like, just taking certain things from them, but to watch from the women and the men and watching each bench setup, and not even just watching the top, but just watching people at the top of what they do in a movement, right? Like, they could be like the 10th ranked lifter, but they have like a top 2 deadlift and he's watching it. And it's like, that is yeah, like I said, like, that is beyond. He's going to do something crazy.
Yeah.
More than he's already done.
Yeah. The sky's the limit for him. Jonathan Keiko.
Favorite. He's my favorite lifter. Like as
Is
a
that right?
fan, he's my favorite lifter as a fan. He is watching him climb to the top and getting his first national championship in 2019, getting his first worlds, just him being able to go from battle to battle and just being able to just make it work and just get that win. Yeah, he's and just him staying the same, like him keeping his personality all the way through it. Yeah, I've been a huge Keiko fan for sure.
And he's a great example of the opposite of a trash talker. He's a super nice, like you've met him, I'm assuming.
Yeah, yep.
So he's a really genuine nice guy. And it's but he's extremely popular because he's always in a battle. Like he's got crazy battles at Worlds. He's gonna battle again at Sheffield. Like he's always in a fucking battle,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
always right down to the very last deadlift. It's always dramatic, and it's
Yep.
famous. Him on one knee, tears in his hands because it's always so crazy. But also he doesn't trash talk, but he's like a hard, silent worker. He's like a Rocky, you know.
Yeah.
And for anyone watching who's like, do I got to trash talk? Like, because I know we're focusing on that a lot. You can be Jonathan Keiko. You can
Yeah.
be Keiko.
And just be confident and show up and execute and just even in the face of adversity, like he's done time and time again, just make it work and win. And that's enough because that's what Keiko does. That's why people love him is because he's faced so much adversity in the heat of battle going against people. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to make it work though. And I'm going to win every single time. No excuses. And just does it.
He never gives up on himself.
Never.
You know, even when he lost his world title, he had the winning pole like up to his knees and he was fighting and fighting. And long after, you could tell that wasn't going to go up. He was still refusing to go down. Like you could tell it wasn't going up anymore, but he was refusing to let it go down. It's like, fuck, this is hard to watch. And he hadn't even missed a lift in years. He was so on point. I dubbed him Mr. Perfect. Because he just never he never got white lights, he just won every battle. It's insane.
But look at his training now.
What's that? Sorry?
Look at his training now, though, ever since then.
Dog, it's I can't wait to see what the hell's gonna happen. Obviously I got more 93s in this list, but because we're all around the same weight class as you. But so I want to get your opinion. But before I go into them, when you watch, like, did you watch Worlds?
Yes, okay. I watched Worlds.
It was amazing. In
you good. Sorry, someone's coming in.
Don't worry. That was your agent? Was that
no,
Nike?
I'm in the office. I'm in the office in the gym, and like there's like 3 different doors that you could kind of like walk into, and it was just a gym goer who thought he walked into the right one. And I was like, no, this is the office. Like, leave. You should have been.
That was your agent. Nike's on the phone. They're ready. They're ready now. The hype got hot in the last week, and they're ready to jump on board.
I hope we get to that point. I hope. Yeah. I pray we get to that point for sure.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. Okay, so I was gonna ask when you're watching those, and Sheffield's coming around the corner, obviously, and these guys are right around your weight class. Now you got plans for this year. You got big plans for next year. But do you ever think about maybe moving up to 93 and battling with the IPF 93s, world championships, possible Sheffields in the future as well?
Yeah, I mean, just once the biggest thing is the politics. Just the politics when that gets figured out, because this past year I thought about it and I said I was gonna say like closer to December I would make my decision, and then I made the decision, of course, to not go the IPF route just because of what ended up happening. Is you show up to Powerlifting American Nationals, and I just didn't want to show up and not go against anyone, and everyone who said they were gonna do it dropped out the day of the meet. And if I would have built up a prep towards that and not have to go against anyone except for Bryce, I would have been mad. I would have been more mad about that than bombing out, just because I built up all this to go against these people in battle, and just to show up for another person who's trying to get this Carpino score. It's just that's not the battle that I want. I want to go against, and I'm pretty sure you're going to mention them, but I want to go against Chance. I want to go against Kako. I want to go against Emil. Like I want to, those are people that I highly respect in the sport and need to actually go head to head with one day. So once the politics gets figured out and it makes sense, and they are like, yes, you do this and then do this, and you'll be able to like actually face these people, then for sure. But it's just the politics makes things weird.
Yeah, there's on that note, I know the scheduling won't be like it is. That's going to get sorted and get better and better, because that's when the Carpinos got in because of scheduling for Sheffield. All of the Nats and everything isn't going to always be the same every year. That's going to get more and more ironed out as we go. Especially seeing as how next year you're got business in USAPL anyways.
Yeah.
So but yeah, and in terms of some of the politics is going to get sorted. A lot of stuff's going to get sorted. So we'll hang tight on that. We'll put a pin in it. We could talk offline. So next one, Chance Mitchell.
Chance is, I mean, everyone says this, but he really is like the hardest worker. He is, when you talk about pressure that you could place upon yourself, he probably puts the most pressure on himself on a day-to-day basis. And I think that I'm really curious to see what he does at Sheffield, just because it was very quick that he won his world championship. And just as he won it, I think people forgot that he won it. And I'm waiting for him to put forth a total that puts some more respect on his name. And I'm really looking forward to that. I think that he's hungry for it, which is why he's barely posting. And he's just kind of like popping in every once in a while. And he's just kind of like doing his own thing. He's in his almost like in his cave, if you will. So I'm really excited to see what he puts up at Sheffield for like whatever total he gets.
Why do you think people forgot he won it? Like you got that impression because of Jonathan Keiko being number one for so long, and they feel like it's not over yet. Like
because I think a lot of storylines that came out after was, oh, Keiko's attempt selection was all messed up because of this, and that, and that's the only reason why Chance won. And then I put up my total weighing 4 kilos lighter, and then Russ did his total, and it's just one of those things to where a lot of people started. I mean, like the narrative that I was able to see from just the powerlifting community is that, you know, Chance got lucky to win that Worlds, and, you know, he didn't really like he didn't put forth the performance that is like, oh, he's our world champion. Like, oh, he's the one to beat. Now, I think us lifters as people, we have that narrative of like, yeah, Chance is the champ. But just the public eye narrative, I just want him to have a performance that just shuts up the public eye, you know, or be able to just go toe to toe with like Keiko, Emil, and is Gustav doing Sheffield or no?
He's the next on the list. Gavin Aiden. Gavin Aiden.
Oh, Gavin Aiden. I was like, man, there's so many 93s.
Yeah, there's so many. There's Gustav. You're right. There's so many 93s out there.
Oh, but so that's basically it with Chance. I'm excited for his meet. I'll say that. And he just works so hard that I know he's gonna put forth something pretty special. And then so Gavin's next.
Let's do Gavin Aiden, my man.
Let me see. There I am. Gavin, man, he is I would consider him just the professional. I've never seen someone enter a sport and right out the gate know how to work it like an agent. Like this this man, like his charisma, like the way that he speaks and stuff like that, is something that I just really haven't seen from someone so young and then immediately getting into it. So, but as far as like him as a lifter, I'm interested to see what he does at Sheffield, because I feel like if he could just get that deadlift figured out, like the total that he could put up is nasty, because he has a big squat, big bench. And I know that he's been like, you know, keeping his weight pretty low, or at least that's what he's been displaying, is that he's trying to keep his weight low so that way a cut doesn't really mess him up, especially with all the travel that he has to do. And if he could just keep on that grind with his deadlift, shoot, I mean, we could see multiple 900 kg plus totals. And that's kind of like and I still stand by this. I think 900 kg is the standard for 90 to 93. That's a standard total, because I guarantee you when they go crazy at Sheffield, or even next year, 900 kg is going to be something that everyone's hitting, just kind of like everyone's hitting this 880 kg total. But then what's going to separate people is going to be who can go 2K plus. And then that's when you start seeing who's number one and then who's like a close number two. but everyone else is going to float around like this 892 to 900 kg range. And I definitely think Gavin is someone, if you could get that deadlift together and just actually get that third squat, it'll be a crazy total.
I don't know if you had seen his SBD Sheffield video. It's like 3 minutes. If you haven't seen it, I'll send it to you in the DMs. I'm going to send it to you in the DMs, my man. It fucking fire. In terms of this kid being able to drop sound bites and like and weave a tale, tell a story. It's straight. It's in some of the guys who on SPD are British, and they're like, it is like the American story. It is like you'll when it's only 3 minutes, and you're like, fuck yeah, okay, I'm pumped up. So it goes totally into what you were saying, and also Gavin said a good soundbite where he's like, I hear 900, and if these guys think 900 is going to do it, then they're way off the mark. And it's like, it's exactly that. It's like, if that's what you think you need to bring to win, you're going to get left behind type talk. And it's like, oh shit, son. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I get excited. When you watch this, you're like, oh fuck, let's go.
I can't wait, because I love people with that mentality, and that's why I say what I say, is because people like him, and all it takes is just you being able to figure out a couple of things and being able to display it on that day. And it's just, people can go from this total that you think they're at to being way beyond. And I can see people's potential. And I always rate my own lifting or judge my own lifting based on people's potential, because I'm not going to sit around and be like, oh yeah, he'll never hit that because of this and this. People figure things out. And then what are you going to do then when they figure it out and you're still operating at a space thinking that they'll never reach a certain level? You got to keep going beyond that. So yeah, 900 kg is the standard. If you want to be one of the best, or you want to be the best one in the year, you're going to need that 2K plus. It's just something you need.
I mean, if Gavin gets 3 squats in, 3 benches in, I mean, his subtotal is crazy. He doesn't even need a big deadlift. Like, it's crazy. Like he just needs to get his squats in and everything changes. Emil Krastev, silver medalist at Worlds. Kind of overlooked a little bit. Doesn't get the love he needs.
He doesn't. And I love Emil, because ever since, even before Worlds, and me and him start following each other and just like started talking here and there, like he's, for him, it's almost opposite of Gavin. It's like, if he can get his squat together and he still brings forth like the deadlift and the bench, that's a strong dude. That's a really, really strong guy that I would not sleep on, because I can definitely see him going into that 900 kg range too, because he's a over 500 pound bencher. He's a mid-7 puller, right? And then the only thing that's troubling him is his squat, to where I know he's trying to get closer to that 700 pound squat. And if he can get that, it's a different story for them 93s. Like, do not sleep on Emil.
It's because he's from Eastern Europe, Bulgaria. He could talk English when you meet him. Super nice guy. It's not fluent, so he's not appearing on a lot of podcasts. So it's people just don't know him because of that. I think. Like, if he was like, I
tried watching his YouTube video for the Sheffield series, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know anything that's going on.
It's not going to hit the same. And it's too bad. If he was American, holy fuck, we would love that underdog story. But having said that, if people are sleeping on him, he's to your point, like what he's doing in the gym right now, he's putting up like over the world record on, like, he could out bench Keiko. Like, who knows? It's crazy.
He's taking 500 for a single at like an RP 6 or 7, like like an everyday no spot type of lift. He's like just benching 500. It's like, I'm like, do you not see this? Like,
it's yeah, to your point, it is. Yeah, like you guys paying attention? But they'll find out. They'll find out at Sheffield, whoever's sleeping, like, not guys like you, probably not Bob Matthews, probably seen him 3 years ago coming. But like, the general public, they'll sleep on him until it's too late. He got silver medal at Worlds, and God knows he could fucking beat all the 93s at Sheffield for all.
He could. I would not be surprised if he did. Not one bit.
Yeah, no, all these guys are that tight. Okay, moving on. Russel Orhii.
Second.
Nicely done. Here's another one. Joey Flexx.
That's I talked to Joey this week. Me and him, it was my first time actually speaking to him. So I spoke to him on the phone for about an hour, and he's a nice dude. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He may say a little bit too much at times that, puts him into into a hole and gets kind of clouded with all the meme pages. But he's a really nice guy. His resume speaks for itself. He has built up a lot of great lifters, and I mean, he's built up my favorite lifter. So he built up Kaiko. So I can never truly dislike a guy who's done that. I will say, before all of this, he wasn't necessarily like my favorite person, but after being able to talk on the phone with him, us really get an understanding, me talk to some of my close friends that are coached by him, and just that truly have like some of the things they went through and some of the things that, like, Joey has done for them. He's a nice guy. He's a great guy. And yeah, that's pretty much all I will say on that. He's a great guy.
If nothing else, sometimes conflict makes that happen, where you end up reaching out and talking to people and getting a better understanding. And it doesn't have to be like, we're going to be friends now or whatever, but it could be, I don't see you like I used to. And it's good. That like you get humanized when you have to talk to someone, you humanize them. And all of a sudden you're like, okay,
that's 100%. That's 100% what happened. It's actually funny you say that. Is again, remember the whole malicious intent thing of how, like, I just know that I couldn't be a heel. That's actually a perfect example of that, because when, of course I'm in there and I know everything that's going on with this whole situation this week, but I was listening to him on the podcast that he did, and I listened to the whole thing. I listened to the whole 3-hour one that you guys did, and I listened to him, and mind you, I'm on the other side. Like, I'm on Marcellus's side. Like, that's my coach. I know what he was about to do, and like I stand like 10 tones down with him, and like the cause and all that stuff, and just the things that he has on him, right? But I would listen to that podcast, and I felt sick to my stomach. I could just hear the genuine confusion. I could hear the genuine niceness, and I could hear that he's not a bad person. And I was like, yeah, I went to sleep. I reached out to a friend in the morning when I woke up, and I said, I'm still sick to my stomach. And I was like, I got to talk to him. Like, I need to reach out and just like break some things down to him and just talk to him about like just kind of like how all this kind of came to be, and just where I stand on it, and just have this like man-to-man talk with him, because I couldn't go through my day because I just felt so sick, because it just felt like he was, ironically enough, it felt like he was down, and I couldn't watch him just be kicked while he was down. And I had to reach out and just like talk to him. So yeah, this conflict definitely changed my whole scope on Flexx as an organization, and just him as a person, and just a lot of people on that side. So
it is, I know what you mean. Okay. If I feel like in terms of like my involvement, cause when, and we don't got to get into all big into the video, but I'm just saying this one part. I'm not, no, we're not going. Don't worry, Doc. Don't worry, Doc. I'm on the same page as you, man. But I even felt weird about, when Marcellus framed it. Russ went on the biggest podcast to do this, and then he played the clip, and then I was like, I felt like, fuck, man, I felt bad, even though Marcellus didn't even say I did anything wrong. But the way it framed it made me feel like, are we like, did we do something? Like, I felt bad. And this is where I was like, fuck, man, I hope I wasn't like instrumental in making you feel shitty, or like, like if you felt that way. And I like, if I hear like, if I made somebody like actually for real feel shitty though, that's why when I reached out to you, I was like, I don't ever want you to feel isolated or alienated, or that like it's them against us, or like me and Russ are close. Me and Joey, I've known Joey since like 2016, and like I've known him for years, talked to him, like Russ too. But I would never want someone to think that because I'm close to them and they're on this platform, that it's like, does that mean Six is siding with them? And it's going to be, and it's like, I don't want people to think that. It feels shitty if you think people are piling on, or it's them against me. And that's why when I reached out, when I saw the video, you know, the feeling you thought you felt in your stomach, like you felt in your stomach. I felt that too for a second. It was like, I don't feel good right now.
Yeah.
And Marcellus wasn't trying to make me feel bad. It was my own guilt of it being like, oh shit. Did like this guy come on like this platform and then whatever.
Yeah, because it's one of those things, like there's nothing that Joey really, and he even really mentioned me like in the podcast. It's not like he said something that made me feel like, oh, it's just that you hear something and you just like just the tone of everything, you just get this feeling of like, oh yeah, I don't feel good. Like this person is hurting.
I walk around like that too sometimes. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah,
like, oh, no,
know.
I can't,
There's nothing like
live.
guilt. Like guilt it makes you be like, I just want to reach out. I just want to whatever, man. Fuck it. I'm not like that. I don't whatever. You could be mad at me if you want, but just let me say something. I know. That's one of the shittiest feelings is guilt like that. But anyways, this is therapeutic, man. I feel better. We're getting it off. We're going places in this podcast.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. We turned it all around. People thought it was going to get dramatic the other way. No. One last one. We'll end on a positive note. Teammate Ashton Rauska.
A menace. That is. Man, he's. Believe it or not, some of the goals that I set out in powerlifting when I first entered the sport are because of him. He's the first. Him and Jesse Norris are the first lifters that I saw coming into the sport. And when I found out Ashton's age, I was there front row. I was at 2017 Nationals. And I was there watching because I wasn't in prime time. I just competed in the morning. And I was there and I just saw him pull for that win against LS. And I was like, he's how old? I was like 19. And he pulled what? It's like, he looks like a grown man. And he's just kept that energy. And he's always been like a huge motivator for me. Like he's always like spoke things into existence for me before. I mean, I always saw them, but he believed before other people believed. Like he viewed me as a threat back in 2018. Other people, he viewed me as a threat. He said, no, you're gonna do something crazy, and I need to be stronger because you're gonna be strong. And I was like, I mean, I know, but like, man, really? And so when he said that, and he's kept that same energy, and like whenever I had like a lot of my displays of the Virginia Pro or Carolina Prime Time or anything like that, he's like, yep, like I see this and I still see more. Like this is only a taste of what you can do still. And I'm like, man, like you really see it, and it just means so much more coming from him because I know he's seen a lot of lifters and he's been through a lot of things. So to say that to me, it always makes me feel pretty good and confident of like, yeah, like someone like Ashton can believe in me so hard. And I know how much I believe in myself. It's only bound to happen. Everything that I set forth it's just a matter of time versus it actually happening.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. You guys are teammates now and freaking, I mean, how far up do you think you would ever see yourself in terms of the weight classes?
What do you mean by that exactly?
Like how far up the weight classes do you think you'll move in terms of body weight? Because 93 is 3 kilos up. You were already done like, that's obvious, easy. But do you think you would go 105, 110 or whatever the heck or?
No, definitely not. I think that the most my body can handle is I guess 105 if I go to that side, but I could only compete at like a 220. I think that's the biggest I can see myself just because, just the muscle I'll be able to put on and just where I would feel comfortable and not hurting and not just like achy all the time is around that 216 to 220 body weight range. That's about where I can see myself competing. Anything past 220 would just be uncomfortable for me, just living life. I went from floating around 210 to 11, going to 93. And then now I'm floating in between. Like, for instance, this morning I woke up at 201.5. Oh, wow. And I feel pretty good. I think the most I would gain up to is like 205. 204, 205. And I feel pretty good here. I can see myself gaining the weight back if I go 93, going back to 212 or a more stacked 214. And that's really about it. I don't want to get any heavier than that because I feel like I just won't need to. I feel like I can have a competitive total with a Bob and an Ashton if I do go 93. Like if I go 93, yeah, I can go toe to toe with those guys if they have like a 8 for 9 day. So
yeah, dude, that's going to be amazing, by the way. Right. But we got business first. We got business.
Yeah.
We got Jesse
have,
Norris's record, then Russ, then, you know, we got stuff to do. Which is
definitely
good.
have to accomplish that.
It's good to have goals along the way. So you're not just waiting or whatever. That's why I think the Jesse Norris angle is important. It's because if Russ isn't going to be there, Jesse Norris is in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who are you going against? History. How's that?
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not going to change my goal just because of one mishap or just because some other thing. Just like Russ, he has his goal, and just because he got thrown into the mix, my goal was to replace Jesse Norris as far as the record goes, because I feel like I am that person who can take that record away. And it's about time that someone's done it. It's ridiculous that, you know, it's been this long since someone's even been within striking distance. And I know that I have the strength for it. I know that I can do it. And I can let, you know, I could let Russ for the next however many years try and chase that record if that's what he wants. And anyone else can join him. So that's what I want.
Yeah. Nice, man. All right. Well, listen, thank you for coming on the freaking podcast, my man. Dude,
anytime.
We crush easy. We flow easy when we do this.
You know, I love it here. Like this easy talk.
It's easy talk. We got to have you back. Obviously, you got a big comp coming up, big goal. So like, let's keep in touch, man. We'll see what happens. Good luck with training, my man. And I'll give the cast off for any. Oh, sorry. Do you want to thank anyone before I let you go?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me thank some people. So I would like to thank, of course, my coach, Marcellus Williams, Swolefessor. Again, I can't thank him enough for being in my life and being brought into my life. I'd like to thank God first and foremost. You know, the things that he's done and things he's taken me through, and just like the whole spiritual journey that I've had has just been amazing. I'd like to thank Stoic. I'd like to thank 110%. I would like to thank my gym. If y'all are ever in Houston, Texas, outside of Corrupted, a place that you could also go is Iron Sight Gym. It's the things that they have done for me, just the community here has really helped elevate my training. And I really do truly appreciate them for being here, and just all of my friends that are here, just, you know, helping me be a better version of myself every single day that I come in. And I like to thank my teammates because they're strong as shit, and they make me feel as if like I need to always, even if I don't have a Russ or a Jesse Norris record, I still have to make sure that I'm not the weakest one out of them. And that's a tall task, but I'm always up for it. So I like to thank them as well. And yeah, I think that's it. Like, thank you for welcoming me on the podcast and for you being who you are. And yeah, it's pretty much it. That's my send off for all the people I want to thank.
Doug, thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you for being who you are. And for everybody listening, please do give us high ratings, subscribe. And until next time, 6-pack Lapadat, 6 up, and we are out.